A few days ago, I posted this article from 1932. It was distributed by the National Catholic Welfare Council, and it appeared in the Catholic Advance. It noted that an ancient altar consecrated in the year 590 by Pope St. Gregory the Great was in Blessed Sacrament Chapel of St. Joseph's Cathedral in Buffalo, New York. That altar was brought to the United States from Rome in 1906 by Monsignor James F. McGloin. He had been the pastor of Blessed Sacrament Chapel. Monsignor McGloin was able to obtain the altar when the Church of San Salvador in Thermus, an ancient church in Rome, was being demolished. Here's a photo of the altar that appeared in the Catholic Union and Times. A tablet near the altar read, "This altar is from San Salvador in Thermus, an ancient church of Rome consecrated by Pope St. Gregory the Great about 590 A.D. It also contains a box of relics, which St. Gregory placed in the altar when he consecrated the church." This was truly an amazing treasure. Pope St. Gregory the Great, who consecrated the altar, was probably, with the exception of St. Peter, the greatest pope in all of history. The Catholic Union and Times tells us that this altar was used by saints. During the centuries that have passed since it was erected, the altar had been used by priests, bishops, and popes, many of whom now are venerated as saints of the Church. Upon it, the holy sacrifice of the Mass had been offered countless thousands of times, and at its foot knelt men and women from the 6th century to the 20th. To see the altar was to realize that though nations rise and fall, the Church remains, and it was the one unchanging institution in a restless world. I tried to find out whatever happened to the altar, but I wasn't very successful at finding it, so I asked folks on Twitter and Facebook to see if they could help me. Greg from Facebook was able to track it down, and he sent me a link from the Buffalo Architecture and History website. It says, in 1976, the sanctuary of the Blessed Sacrament Church was remodeled to bring it into conformity with the new liturgical directives of the Second Vatican Council. These renovations extended the altar forward to encompass the full extent of the transept, along with the installation of a modern silver light bar above the altar. Upon Bishop Head's direct supervision, the relics within the ancient altar from the Church of San Salvador that had been consecrated by Pope St. Gregory the Great were removed, including one of the Holy Cross, and the altar itself was demolished and disposed of during the renovation process. So this altar was probably the most precious and greatest artifact of the Church of the United States, and Bishop Head destroyed it. It could have been given away to the SSPX or other traditional groups, but instead they chose to demolish it. So, where do you think this altar is now? Is it in a landfill, or was it ground into gravel and used in the parking lot of the cathedral? What kind of man would do such a horrible thing? Like the Nazis at Nuremberg, Bishop Head said that he was only following orders. He was only following the directives of the Second Vatican Council. But I don't doubt that. Not a single good thing ever flowed from the Council. The Novus Ordo Church claims that the Second Vatican Council was guided by the Holy Spirit. But I submit to you that it was an entirely different and ancient, a very wicked spirit that was the guiding spirit of the Council. What would Pope St. Gregory think about the wanton destruction of his altar? Maybe that's something Bishop Head should have asked before reducing the altar to rubble. Though all Catholics need to atone for the grave sins of the last 60 years, God's mercy is infinite. As Pope St. Gregory the Great said, "Oh, how wonderful is the mercy of our Creator. We are not even good servants of His, and now He calls us His friends." Well, I hope you enjoyed this video. I'll be back again within a week with another one. But in the meantime, please check out my Facebook page and my Twitter page. Every day I post additional content that you won't find on this YouTube channel. And also, please pray for the church.